Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Environment Matters. I'm Mike Huff, filling in for Annette this week. The DEP's Office of Special Reclamation is partnering with the Water Research Institute at West Virginia University to build a new acid mine drainage treatment plant near Mount Storm. The plant is part of WVU's efforts to expand its successful rare earth element oxide recovery project. It's a story we've been following for the past few years. Treating acid mine drainage, or AMD, is an ongoing and expensive problem in West Virginia. The process leaves behind a sludge of metals, iron, aluminum, and manganese mostly, a waste product that had no value until now. Researchers at West Virginia University have developed a process to extract rare earth elements from the AMD sludge. Despite their name, rare earths like scandium, yttrium, and the lanthanides, elements 57 to 71 on the periodic table, are widely distributed in the rocks of the earth, just rarely concentrated enough to get a commercially viable deposit. Rare earth elements are used in the manufacture of electronics, batteries, glasses, medical applications, and lightweight but very strong metal alloys used in aerospace, among other things. Right now, most of the world's supply is controlled by China, but that could change. Dr. Paul Zimkevich is director of the Water Research Institute at West Virginia University. His team developed the process and is partnering with the DEP to expand it from a lab to a more industrial scale at a new acid mine drainage treatment plant near Mount Storm.
Treatment usually involves raising the pH up with lime and oxidizing and mixing those all together. When you've done that, then you have this soup. It's an orange soup, and then it separates out into the metals. The orange part is the metal component, and then the clear water floats off the top, and that is discharged through a regulated, permitted discharge under the Clean Water Act. The sludge that stays behind, the orange stuff, is where we find these enriched rare earth concentrations. And it makes sense because rare earth elements are basically transition metals, so anything that takes out aluminum, iron, manganese is going to take out rare earths. And so it's just serendipity. And it takes them out in a form that's really, like I say, easy to recover. All you have to do is acidify. You don't have to grind the stuff up. It's already in very finely divided form. You don't have to break it out of a mineral matrix, which is a big cost if you're mining this stuff. And the other thing that's really attractive about this source is that the mixture of heavy and critical rare earth elements versus the light ones, which are less valuable, is really favorable. So if you add up the critical and heavy rare earth elements against the total rare earth elements in AMD sludge, it's something like 60%. The last operating rare earth mine in the United States in Mountain Pass, California, had only something like 12% heavy rare earths in it. The rest of it were lights. And they're, again, much less valuable, less strategic value to the economy and to the defense industry and all the other good stuff.
Researchers at WVU did a survey of mine sites in the northern and central Appalachian coal basins and found around 700 tons of rare earth elements in existing stored AMD sludge. It's estimated that those sites could continue to produce around 1,000 tons of rare earth elements annually, with a value around $245 million. Treatment sites like this one on Muddy Creek generate thousands of tons of sludge a year. Managing all that sludge is expensive and complex, and those costs could delay bringing other AMD treatment sites online. Having a potential revenue source from the extraction of rare earth elements from AMD sludge could potentially offset some of the DEP's treatment costs.
I think it could be huge. One, we would have a secondary product from the coal industry. Now, long after you stop mining coal, acid mine drainage is produced, as we all know. I've spent most of my career working on acid mine drainage problems in West Virginia, and we're still working on mines that were in production in 1911. It's all over the Appalachian coal basin. Finding a way to incentivize treatment of that water, which is a major pollutant. It wipes out more stream miles than any other pollutant we have in the Appalachians. So just finding a way to incentivize that, to get people thinking about that as a resource rather than just a pollutant and a liability that has to be dealt with, does a couple things. One, it helps clean up streams because it brings money into that sector, because you can't extract the rare earths without actually cleaning up the acid mine drainage. So that it's a benefit in that regard. Secondly, In these coal communities where the acid mine drainage comes out of the old mine portals or refuse piles or whatever, you have infrastructure, you have a road network, you have transportation, you have a workforce, you have a lot of things already there that allow you to move into commercial operations relatively quickly.
The DEP's Office of Special Reclamation will design the plant. It's being funded by a $5 million award from the U.S. Department of Energy. Be sure and follow the DEP on all our social media channels. Along with the Environment Matters YouTube channel, we're on Facebook and Twitter at DEPWV. Like, follow, and subscribe, and never miss a story. And for all things DEP, visit our website, dep.wv.gov. That's all for this week. For Environment Matters, I'm Mike Huff. Thanks for watching.